When it comes to MBA programs in India for working professionals with 3 to 5 years of experience, you hardly have any options available, barring ISB and IM Ahmedabad PGPX, specifically when you have less than 5 years of experience. So I wanted to talk about a program which is as venerated as these schools, these programs that I mentioned. And that program is SPJIMR's PGPM, SPJIMR's Postgraduate Program in Management. It's an 18-month program. It starts with a 2-month online module. Then you have a 12-month residential campus immersion where you stay in the SPJIMR campus for a whole year, and then you have 4 months of or 2 months of international immersion and live projects, right? So it starts online digitally, then 12 months of full-time residential MBA, then 2 to 3 months of live projects and immersion. And the catch here is that the program deadlines are very, very soon as compared to the ISB and IIMs. So ISB and IIMs typically have their round one deadlines in August end or September mid. But for SPJIMR, the first phase deadline is 31st March. The second phase deadline is July 31st, and the third phase deadline is September first week. So if you want to increase your chances, augment your chances of applying for this business school, then you should give your GMAT early on, and in parallel you should write the 4 SPJIMR essays, which are very, very important and not that easy to write. I'll talk more about these essays, but firstly I wanted to cover a little bit about the placements and the prospects of the program. So you can submit your application by May 31st. You can give the GMAT by September 30th. That's still possible, but you have to submit your application beforehand. The sooner you submit, the better your chances are. That goes without saying. But when it comes to the program start date, it's December 1st. Now coming to something more spicy in nature, which is the placements. So I have my notes open in front of me. So there are broadly 150 applicants in every class who attend the SPJIMR PGPM. The average CTC typically is 24 LPA. The median is 23 LPA, highest salary is 52 LPA. So it's a very good backup to ISB and IIM Ahmedabad PGPX if you're giving GMAT and you have 3 to 4 years of experience and you want to do an MBA in India. That too from some institution as prestigious as SPJIMR. And the sectoral split of hiring is typically 30% consulting placements, followed by general management and manufacturing. But when it comes to consulting firms, these are typically IT consulting recruitments which are happening in SPJIMR from the likes of Accenture, Tiger Analytics, Fractal, and IBM, as well as Capgemini, right? So if you are someone who really wants to make a mark in tech consulting, and you come from a software engineering background and you want to change the domain of your work and go into IT consulting, SPJIMR is a very, very good college to be in, followed by general management placements and BFSI. Now, when it comes to the essays, I would cover and spend 2 minutes on every essay like I do, just to share my thoughts with you. So the first essay, which is a longer essay, is of 500 words. It's your typical goals essay, which is based on your academic and professional background. How will the PGPM program shape your career goals, right? So in this essay, since it's 500 words, in the first 300 words, Sarthak will talk about his work-ex trajectory till now, which is where has he worked, if he has worked in Infosys, what kind of work has he done as a software engineer, the marquee projects that he has been a part of in 300 words. And in the next 100 words, he'll talk about basis his experience. These are his aspirations. Let's say he wants to get into technological consulting or analytical consulting. And then he'll talk about within the same 100 words on what is he lacking right now to make this pivot, make this shift on his own. And in the last 100 words or 150 words, he'll talk about how specifically the SPJIMR PGPM program, be it through specific electives, faculty names, international immersion, live projects, how will the SPJIMR program help him make this pivot to tech consulting, right? That's very important. And second is a smaller essay. So I'm more scared by smaller essays because you have to measure each and every word while you're writing it, because you only have 250 words. So the second essay is describe the biggest commitment you have ever made till date, and the commitment can be from your personal life or work front. So commitment means, what is my true North Star metric in life? Do I want to adhere to resilience or excellence in whatever I do, or do I want to adhere to empathy as a metric or as a moral compass? If let's say Sarthak is talking about being empathetic as his moral compass in life, then in his 250 words, he can talk about where did he get this metric from, or did he take inspiration from a peer or a parent or a friend, and then he'll highlight 2-3 instances, maybe one at work, one personally, where he was able to show empathy despite the circumstances. For example, if Sarthak's colleague in Infosys was undergoing some personal trauma on account of losing someone very close to him or her, and if Sarthak could visibly see in the colleague's face that he was totally distracted because of what they had gone through, empathy mandates Sarthak to take up his colleague's work if he can, and let his colleague take some time off just to get things together. And Sarthak can be emotionally there with his colleague just to hear them out. That can be one example, right? So 250 words can be 50 words, which is what is my commitment and where does that come from? 100 words on professional anecdote where you exhibited that trait or attribute, and 100 words on personal anecdotes. Third essay is interesting, which is what defines you as an individual, your values, aspirations, and traits. Once again, 250 words. I think this is very similar to the first essay that ISB asks in their PGP application, which is contemplate personal situations which have shaped who you are till now, your personal life journey. So if I think about it, what defines you as an individual means, maybe you can talk about where I was born and brought up. Let's say it was in a township or in a small village, and that village zeitgeist impacted me or told me that irrespective of limited recreational avenues, I can punch above my weight class and do wonders with my life. Something that I learned from my father, who broke all the prevalent socio-economical shackles to move out of the house that he was born into and ensure that his family had economic security by getting a job as a chartered accountant and not continuing with the familial tradition of farming as the source of revenue, right? Something like that. And my father has impacted me in this way. So what defines you as an individual should be a culmination of parental influence, peers or siblings, as well as somebody who has inspired you at work. So it will run like a life story. This is where I was born, parents' influence. Then, and influence can not only be in terms of values, but in terms of, let's say, you being a cricket fan, or you always having a soft corner for music because your mom has been a lifelong music enthusiast. Something like that also works. You start with parental influence, you go to schooling and college days, you talk about peer, the environment that you were surrounded by, be it in a boarding school or college, and how that impacted you, whether it impacted you to take up theater or it impacted you to participate in hackathons and become a technology aficionado. So whatever works. And last would be work. Who has impacted you the most at work in terms of values and aspirations. There is a fourth essay as well, which is difficult to write because this is which major functional subject would you want to take up at SPJIMR PGPM, and 2 concentrations. So SPJIMR, whether it's for the 2-year PGDM program or the 1-year PGPM program, They ask you your intended functional majors even before you're admitted. When you're applying, you're asked whether you want to specialize in HR or operations or marketing or information technology and analytics. So I recommend my mentees to pick a functional major with respect to which background they're coming from. If let's say Sarthak is coming from a marketing background, what functional major he'll have can be marketing or operations. If let's say Sarthak is coming from an engineering background, then information management and analytics can be his functional majors, because SPJIMR typically buckets you into a major before shortlisting you. So your major should be related to your background or professional career path till now, and the concentration that you're picking can be related to your aspiration. If let's say Sarthak is coming from an IT background, he can pick information technology as his functional major. But when he's talking about his concentration in the program, he can pick something related to management consulting because that is his aspiration. Let's say he picks a new age business leadership as a concentration. So in the essay, he'll have to justify why he's picking his functional majors because of his background. And he's picking these two concentrations because he wants to get into management consulting after completing the degree. So just keep this dichotomy in mind, which is functional major linked to your background, concentration linked to your aspiration. And that's what you have to mention in the essay. So these are the 4 essays that you have to write in the SPJIMR PGPM application. I frankly believe, which is evidently visible through its numbers, median CTC, kinds of recruiters which visit, that it makes it a very, very good backup to ISB and IIM's ABC. If you want to apply for 1-year MBA in India, everybody from an EY to Avendus to Bajaj to Axis to Cognizant to HSBC to IDFC to Myntra to TVS to Bristol Cone is visiting SPJIMR every year. This is the recent report. And the good thing is that the average CTC of the top 25% of the batch is more than 30 lakhs per annum, which is very, very competitive, very, very good. So if you're able to get into the college and if you're able to do well, then you can change the orbit of your professional life by getting into IT consulting or general management or operations in manufacturing while bagging a handsome salary. So I hope this was helpful, and do apply soon. The deadline is May 31st. You can submit your GMAT after that by September 30th, but do apply as soon as possible. Thank you.